Welcome to New Strength. I'm Christina Cook-Lee. New Strength is a daily devotional offering hope and encouragement to people who are trying to get and stay free from depression and/or dependency. I would encourage you to read along with me. If you're viewing directly on YouTube, check the description area below the screen for instructions on how you can. Thanks for joining me. Our topic is anger. The focus, catch and release. The scripture, Romans chapter 12, verse 18, from the New King James Version of the Bible. If it is possible, as much as depends on you, live peaceably with all men. Believe it or not, there are people who like to go fishing frequently, who either don't even like the taste of fish, or can't possibly eat all they catch. Just like there are people who are habitually annoyed, even though they don't intend to become angry, and may never act out in rage. What could fishing and anger have in common? Quite a bit. Let's have a look at Felix the fisherman. He hates fish but loves fishing. He has learned to manage his passion for the sport by employing the technique of catch and release. In case you have no knowledge of what that technique is, it's the practice of reeling in a fish, carefully removing the hook, and letting the fish go back into the wild. When Felix first started fishing, he used to keep the fish he caught. He didn't have any intention of eating them. He just liked showing off his catch to the neighbor guy, and then he'd give the fish away. Felix really loved fishing and was so good at it, sometimes he ended up with more fish than he could get rid of. He gave so much fish to his friends that after a while they got kind of sick of it and weren't interested in having him give them any more. Felix kept bringing home all the fish he caught, but after a while, the refrigerator was a stinky mess. Felix had to make a choice: stop fishing or quit bringing home the fish. That's when he decided to catch and release. People can argue, become annoyed, or angry out of habit too. For some, this behavior can be like a sport. They toss out a line, and if someone gives them a little activity, they get real excited. Oops, I meant to say real excited. Being the brunt of someone else's anger can cause depression. But a person who is depressed has a lot under the surface too. Some unsuspecting person can catch more than they bargained for. Without any notice, they might get dragged under, hook, line, and sinker. Whichever end of the pole you're on, it's important to employ the same tactics as Felix. Learn to catch and release. If you're trying to overcome arguing, being annoyed, or angry, an important thing to learn is not to hold on to your gripes too long. When you let one thing lead to another, a molehill becomes a mountain, and pretty soon you don't even remember what the original issue was. So what if something agitates you? It doesn't mean you have to take ownership of it and let it ruin a day, or a career, or a marriage. You could just let it go. And if you're the one who's acting out at other people's expense, start paying attention to what's going on around you. Look at what's happening. If you have a problem with someone and you overstep your limits, stop yourself. Even if you think you're in the right, acting out anger is never the answer. Let it go. If you keep holding on to your grudges and making the people around you miserable, the whole situation is going to stink soon, if it doesn't already. Everyone, yourself included, would be better off if you just released it. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 11 says, "A fool always loses his temper, but a wise man holds it back." If you are the victim of another person who wants to argue, be annoyed, or angry, you need to catch and release too. As you are hit with a challenge, just as quickly, let it go. Don't be tempted to jump into the ring and start throwing jabs. Let it go. Another piece of advice is, don't become involved in prolonging or enlarging a problem that doesn't have to get bigger. When someone injures you, it's a natural thing to want to defend yourself or return insult for insult. But Jesus said, if someone offends you and slaps you on the face, turn the other cheek. Don't feel you have to have the last word. I live in a city where tourists flock by the thousands every winter. The streets become congested and road rage is typical. I adopted a practice many years ago that helps me keep from becoming completely annoyed or angry when I'm driving. Instead of thinking of people as stupid drivers, I think of them as people who need prayer. I say, "Bless them, God," when someone does something in front of me that I think is stupid, like driving crazy slow or changing lanes without notice. The stupider the thing they do, the more I know they need prayer. Declaration: I will find new strength as I stop arguing, becoming annoyed, and angry. I will start looking at people who offend me as though they're waving a big white flag that says, I need prayer. I will know peace as I catch and release. Thanks for taking the time to listen. I would really appreciate it if you would like this segment. And if you wouldn't mind, please share it with someone else who might also benefit from it. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the New Strength Devotional channel on YouTube or on WordPress, and then a link will come to you every day in your email with a segment like this. And if you're already a subscriber, I'll look forward to meeting with you again tomorrow. My prayer is that you will find new strength day by day and endless blessings. I'm Christina Cook Lee.